Hey everybody, welcome back to the Ice and Bean podcast. You're here with your constant co-host Matty J, Drake G, and Colton D. What's going on, guys?
Yeah, just kicking it.
Drinking coffee.
Living large on your personal party barge.
Yeah, if that's what we're calling this 2-bedroom apartment in Halifax. Yes, absolutely.
I think it is.
Oh my.
Yeah, man.
How about you?
I'm doing pretty good.
That's good.
It's been a pretty good week for me. But yeah, I think I don't know. I think it's gonna be a warm day today, and I'm looking forward to the air conditioning in my home and my vehicle.
Yeah, totally agreed.
Yeah.
I can't wait till we can turn our AC back on.
Yeah, it's gonna be
turns it off. Oh,
that
God.
audio quality for the listeners is pretty important.
It is absolutely.
It's worth a couple of degrees of warmth and some sweat in the pits.
So what is last week's episode? The first week we had it off, or do we have it for Bliss? Do you remember?
What do you mean?
The AC was the AC on or off?
We did not turn it off for Bliss.
We definitely turned it off the first time, not last week, but the week before, whatever that was. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we did have.
We've only ever had one episode with the fan on.
Oh, look at
we managed to catch it next time.
So,
continuity.
So people got to hear us shit talking, but in really good audio quality.
Oh man!
Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. No. Tell me about your week, guys. What's going on?
It's been a hectic week.
Yeah.
I mean, came back from vacation, which I talked about last week. So go check that episode out. It'll be coming out today, which would be last week when you hear this. Yeah, no, came back from vacation, did all that, had a little 2-day break, which was not very much of a break because I was panicking over this past weekend, trying to make sure that I had everything ready for it.
What did you do on the weekend?
Well, I hosted / in part organized our first ever Halifax D&D weekend.
Hell yeah.
Which has been a tradition in my dad's D&D group since they were like teenagers. They've been doing it every year for the last 30 years.
Sheesh.
And I just thought a little while ago, I was like, you know what? It'd be really cool to get the people I play D&D with up here all together and have a weekend like that to kind of keep that going and start a little bit of a new tradition.
Hell yeah. You got to prepare to keep... I'm like a big legacy guy. I'm like, what can I leave behind? And the reality is I'm leaving sorry to be such of a Debbie Downer, but the reality is I'm probably not leaving too much behind other than, my children's memory of me and, hopefully a better financial position for them. So from that perspective, you got to keep carrying on that legacy. And I feel like, there will be a day, sorry to say,
of course.
when your dad's group won't be able to do the D&D weekend anymore. Don't worry. Jurgen, respect, my guy. We got you covered.
We do. Yeah, we absolutely do.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so that was this past weekend, and it was a very good time. I had a lot of fun.
I did too. It was a really good time, actually. Yeah. We didn't get too schwasty, but we got schwasty enough.
Yeah. It was a good vibe.
It was a good balance. Yeah,
everybody wrote a good balance. Yeah. I was expecting it to be so much worse than it was. Yeah, really? Just from not everybody.
Yeah, there was a level of alcohol that was brought that I was like, oh God, this could go badly. This could go very bad. Yeah. But it didn't, which was nice.
I stayed home and I was probably less sober than some of the people there. So.
Likely.
Yeah.
No, it was a good time. Where's so you said down somewhere. So where was the location?
Oh, it was at my grandparents' cottage just outside of Digby.
Yeah. Really nice spot too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful lake. Really nice cottage, room for everybody to sleep, which was super nice because that bed, being a boomer and 31 years old, the back's a little tender every once in a while. So having an actual bed to sleep on is absolutely high priority when you go away from me.
I'd like to hedge a bet, though, that you hung off a little bit of that bed.
Oh, at least 40% of me cantilevered off the side of the bed. It's absolutely fine, though, because bed versus not having a bed is number one priority. Yeah. Size of bed, irrelevant.
That's fair. That's totally fair.
I hang off of my bed, and it's a California king. So.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is too is that's going to be like your guys' dedicated room every time we have a weekend.
Dope, fresh key clutch sauce.
Yeah.
If we got really popular, people would be like, they'd look back on this episode and they'd be like, how tall is that Matt guy? we have to keep it a secret.
We have to keep it a secret?
Yeah.
Yeah, no heights. No heights.
If we end up being really
if
popular.
I find you in the comments talking about my height, I don't have any money. But what I do have are a particular set of skills. Skills that make me a problem for people like you.
Oh,
So that being said,
Lord.
don't at me in the comments.
I just want a fan to meet you and be like, oh, he's big.
We have no fans, Sag.
I think we have a
I think
handful.
we have a couple fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have a couple fans.
You want to know what's hilarious?
Your dad's definitely one of them.
Yes, something like that. But
Yeah.
also told us not to pimp the podcast to him while we were out at the weekend.
The first time I've ever met the guy. It's on the dock at the cottage. Shakes my hand. I'm like, hey, Matt. He's like, oh, Matt. Yeah, you're the Matt. And I was like, yeah, you might find me on the popular podcast, Ice and Bean. And he was like, don't pimp out your podcast. Don't pimp yourself. I was like, wow. Okay. All right. All right, Dad. Okay, Dad. Sure thing. Papa G.
I
Yeah.
I
Oh my
run
God,
the
yeah.
ads.
He
in my
definitely
everyday
ignored me.
conversation.
He definitely ignored me calling him Papa G all weekend.
Yes.
Yeah, which I thought was hilarious.
That or he just wasn't.
He may
noted
not have
that.
been paying attention.
That's
Yeah.
quite possible. No
That's
offense, Dad.
absolutely fine with me.
Yeah, just, I mean, we don't have to continue on about the weekend, but just one last note because I thought it was funny. Do you want to know what's great? You guys accomplished 1/3 of the things that I had planned for that adventure.
For those of you who might be listening and don't know, the typical table size for Dungeons and Dragons is between 4 and 6
We
people,
had
plus the DM.
11
11.
on Saturday night.
Yeah, it was gruesome. It was gruesome.
It was a lot.
Yeah, it was a ton. I run an 8-person game, and it's enough. Like I'm like clap once if you can hear me, clap twice if you can hear me, all the time with my 8-person table, and then it's like with 11, it was wild.
Yeah. But I'm okay with that because that just means I have so much more that I can just plan to have and not have to put in extra work.
Yeah, I want to play, and also not before this time next year.
Yeah, we discussed that we should probably talk about getting people together sooner as opposed to later.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Do we get all 11 together?
I mean, it's definitely one of those adventures where I would like to have the whole group there for it.
Yeah.
But that's a thing that can be discussed when the time comes, you know?
I know it
For sure.
setup is hard, but like, what if you did a semi-annual trip to the cottage and once was in the winter and you could just like vibe?
The only problem with that is
Getting
that
there?
the cottage is not winterized.
That's fair.
Oof.
Because
That
it would
be-
just like
It would be crazy, though.
I
It would be.
figured
It would be
I
like
figured that
snowsuit
was the
D&D.
case.
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
You guys have
Yeah.
a really like nice looking wood stove.
The wood
though.
stove is good, but there's no insulation, so
Yeah.
it's like
Oh, it's zero.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's
not-
frigid. The frigid
Yes.
white north.
yeah,
That's very
it
typical
is a
case.
summer cottage.
Gotcha.
One of my plans when I become the owner of the cottage, which will be in 40 odd years, is to winterize it.
Because it would just be cool to like sit there and play D&D around a fire and like look
Yes.
out and see like the lake and stuff. It'd
Absolutely,
be neat.
yes.
Yeah,
But
it
yeah,
would be a
that's
vibe.
that's the thing that holds us back from doing it more often because they don't live out there past beginning of October.
Right. Do your grandparents live there?
They'll spend from like end of May to October there, and
Wow.
then they have a house in Digby, and then they go out there for the rest of.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah. Shout out your grandparents for letting us have the place. It was very nice of them.
yeah,
It was a vibe for sure.
it was super fun. But yeah, that was my week. Just hectic, and all of everything is hectic.
The only notable things I did this week was play basketball and play League of Legends. So went off.
Did
Like
you get any
always.
dubs in either?
Yeah, actually, I did. Two of my friends from back home individually played against me this week in basketball on any given night, and they used to be better than me, and now we're like on par. But I just got the better of them both nights, and I was like, cool, whatever. I feel good about myself this week. And then in league, I was just going off. So
Yasuo
nah,
in the mid lane.
Yi
Master Yi in, the jungle.
Oh
Woo! Sheesh.
It's just the
The
go-to.
focus mind can
We've-
pierce through stone. Am I right?
We played a game yesterday, and it was me, Drake, Pietro, Spencer, and did we have a fifth? We had a fifth.
Hey, Joe.
Was it Joe?
I think
Shout
I
out
couldn't
Joe.
remember if it was Joe or not.
Oh no, we
'cause-
only had 4 of us. It was only the 4.
Was it?
We had
Shout out
4
Joe
stacking
anyway.
on random.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I went like 15-3.
Oh, damn.
And just like
On
went
Yi in the
hard.
jungle.
Yes, why not?
You're a melee champion god, though, dude. Like that's
I
your
like
that's your thing. Like,
assassins.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you even could you consider Master Yi an assassin though?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would.
Oh
I would
yeah.
say he's probably.
He's like
yeah.
a glass cannon who just dives in and kills everyone. Like
Yeah, I've never been able to really pop off on Yi. I don't know why, but I don't think I'm a melee champion.
it goes one
Guy.
of two ways. I'm either 2-7 at the end, or I'm 23-4.
Yeah.
Like there's no in between. I never have just a decent game.
Yeah, I've chased people around trying to queue people and stuff like that all the time, and like,
It's all about the timing.
yeah,
And like, are we? How in depth can I go with
as
League?
much as you
Go for
want.
it.
This is our
It's just
podcast,
like,
dude. You
well,
got it.
my favorite thing to do is like do a full clear and then go bot, because typically if you go bot and they haven't backed yet, they're low. And if you hit a Q on both of them, you
It's just
basically kill
Gs.
both of them.
Yeah.
And if you get that double kill early, you don't stop. Like a 2-0 Yi is a 10-0 Yi in 5 minutes. Like no problem. So yeah.
Yeah, and
Full clear
incredibly-
bot for sure. Do you start topside on red, or do you start bot side?
It depends on what side I'm starting, I guess.
Yeah.
I always start bot side. I always start
the
with the
leash?
double leash, yeah.
Yeah, that's
You
reasonable.
don't have to, but if I start double leash with Yi, I don't have to heal the whole time I'm in the jungle, so
Yeah.
it's beneficial.
Yeah, for sure.
Because then if I gank, I can like pop a pot when I'm going to the lane, so that
Yeah.
I'm like full health when I get there.
Do you take W early, or do you max Q?
I go Q, E, W, and then I just max Q.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I think.
Well, when you're done your bot clear, you have 3.
Yeah,
So if you dive on bot lane, you can W up. And
W
then
up tank.
Typically,
tank the hits,
it either results in you going in at the right time and getting the double kill for yourself, or you go in, do a lot of damage, W, and where it's early game, they don't do more damage than your W is
Yeah.
healing.
Yeah.
So then your bot lane just kills them.
It's like a mini Zonia's almost.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The only
or a
time
stopwatch.
that you get like kind of screwed over in that situation is if you get counter ganked at the exact same time because the other
Right.
team had the same idea. But
Yeah, exactly.
it almost always works that way.
Hmm.
When I'm playing solo queue, at least. When we're playing stacked, it kind of can go one way or the other because typically, like our group of people has strong bot laners, I find, so they're pushed all the time, and then I just can't do my typical. I can't do my typical plan if.
It's a problem. And everyone's calling me out like, why aren't you in my lane? Why aren't you in my lane?
well,
This is
it's
the
either-
plight of
it's-
my existence.
yeah, it's
this is the
either-
plight of my existence. They
It's
flame
either
me
Drake
all the
or
time.
Pietro who are ADC, so they're pushed.
Yeah. And like worst case, it's if it's neither of those guys, it's Dan in the bot lane.
Yeah.
And then it's like everybody's pushing their lane.
Yeah.
You know, we typically have strong mid laners and tops and islands, so everybody's like, get in my lane. And I'm like, but
I hate being
your lane's
jungle.
pushed. I can't gank underneath the turret. You won't dive with me. I even have volley bear. I turned those turrets off, baby, and everyone's like, no, I don't want to dive.
When
turret.
you have
We don't dive turrets here."
you have a good jungle game, it's like, oh, that was awesome. Like, you know, everyone's high off that. And then when you have a bad jungle game, everybody hates you. And it's like I hate to say it because I just play too much solo queue now, but it's like when I'm with my stack, if someone loses lane, I'm like, man, I can't help that. Like if you weren't getting actively ganked all the time and you lost lane, don't yell at me for losing lane because
Exactly.
I'm doing what I can.
Exactly. Well, your lane state, and this is as far as we'll go with League, but your lane state is you, man. Like all of the pros say, I've watched 100 million videos because I want to be good.
Yeah.
I'm not good, for the record.
Me either.
Nope.
But like you don't gank losing lanes. If you gank a losing lane, you get killed too.
Yeah.
You got to gank the strong lanes. Turn your lead in those lanes on overdrive, and then with that snowball, then assist the other lanes if it's possible. If it's not possible, maybe a lane swap happens. But I feel like as junglers, we gotta get maybe a lot of flame for not showing up. But
it's always
A, the lane's pushed, or B, you're losing lane. I'm not coming. Sorry about that.
In a party and solo queue, it's always the top laner because like
Always
I'm
the
always
top laner.
focusing on the other 2 lanes, and then by the time I make it to the top lane, they're like 0-4, and they're like game's over, and I'm like, oh,
The game is not over. And also, like, if you're a top laner, I feel like this is a hot take. Forgive me. But if you're a top laner, don't expect me to come to your lane, right? There's a lot going on.
you were just looking at me angrily, but you never top lane, so I'm not even talking about you.
I was just thinking about the Teemo game that I had.
yeah, but we still won.
Yeah, I know, but I did terrible and also did the most
Wasn't that
damage in the game.
Wasn't that the game that I went like 15-4 or
Yeah.
whatever? Yeah, it worked out.
You should be playing, like, if you're top, you know, like the meta is tank, play a tank. And then just vibe. And, you know, build some health items and just chill for a bit. And then eventually we scale up to late game. You know, break out the Orin. I'm happy with that. Be a playmaker. Initiate with some stuns. Like, that's a vibe.
Truth.
Don't play bad champions in the top lane and then flame me for not showing up. A, tops an island. B, I don't gank losing lanes. Sorry, not sorry.
It's a good
Don't at me.
This
Yeah,
is why I
it's a good
play
prerogative.
solo.
If you want to follow
This
me,
is why I
follow
play solo.
Yeah.
Because I just mute everybody, and I'm like, I don't really care what you have to say. I'm going off. I'll win the game.
Yeah. My favorite is hearing somebody in your own Discord go, "Well, just," and like trying to backseat jungle you a little bit, but knowing that if they say it, there might be a mute all happening.
When I'm doing my clear and someone like Spencer tells me how to do the clear, I'm like, shut the fuck up.
I've been jungle pathing since you were 12, kid. Calm
It's
your
not
tits.
even, I don't even care about the pathing or anything like that. If I'm just playing my game, just leave me be. I'll learn when I learn.
Yeah, absolutely.
How was your week, Matt?
You know,
Because we're just realizing we did not loop back to see how yours was.
my week was pretty good. I've got I obviously attended D&D weekend, so that was basically the highlight of my week.
Hey.
We got a babysitter, chilled at D&D weekend. Made the drive to Digby. Wasn't that bad a drive. Stopped at Gametronics in New Minas and Rainbow's Edge in Wolfville because you got to hit those game stops when you're driving by.
Yeah.
It's definitely important.
Yeah.
You got to hit those experiences. So I would say like Gametronics, shout out to Matt Balcom who owns the shop. It always a little disorganized, but never ever has a gap in stock. Like it's all, you got to look at shops out there. They're trying to survive, right? So he's had that spot for a long time. I don't know exactly how long, but he's definitely like things are a little bit more expensive out there, but it's New Minas. You got to expect to pay a premium if you're going to go to a shop for premium things.
Yep.
So yeah, it was nice to catch up with him for a few minutes. He had a few customers, so we couldn't talk for too long. But I used to work in New Minas when I was a banker, and not that I'm not now, but when I was a banker, I used to work in New Minas and go to a shop every day, play D&D there on Wednesday nights, that kind of thing. So it was nice to catch up with those guys. Rainbow's Edge was cool. It was more of a bookshop / meets.
Lots of cards.
Lots of cards, lots of books. You guys,
Yeah.
you guys live very close, I would imagine.
I did.
You did, yeah.
I lived 30 seconds away from it.
Yeah, so like I liked it. It was cool. It wasn't necessarily there was more like sort of niche-y like random stuff that was being sold by like third parties but at the shop like nerdy pillows and
It's like-
t-shirts and weird stuff like that. And I'm like, that kind of stuff, I'm not really here for that. I understand that there should always be a little space for the private seller. Shout out Game Night in Dartmouth. They have the owner's daughter actually makes these cool resin coasters.
Nice.
And what she does is what they do is they put like a sheet of resin down first and then put a Pokemon card on,
I've seen
on
like
top
TikToks
of that.
about this.
Yeah. And then resin the rest of it.
Yeah.
So I got a first edition Machamp
Nice.
because that's my favorite Pokemon card ever. I got a first edition Machamp still sealed in the plastic. Gave it to her. She embedded it in the resin for me. And now I'm so bougie. I have a coaster that is a first edition Machamp holographic that I set my drink on every day while I'm at work, which is Hype Train.
That's fantastic.
But yeah, I love that stuff, but too much of it takes away from the general ambiance. I want to walk in and see like 300 packs of Pokemon cards. I want to walk in. I want to see 300 packs of Magic.
Rainbows was like, and this is not an insult to them by any means, but it's like going to a yard sale.
Yeah.
In the sense that like
Very
you can
much.
walk in 10 times in a row and like one of those times you're going to find something top tier. Like you're going to be like, ooh, this is amazing. But the other 9 times you walk in and you're like, eh, and you just walk back out kind of deal. So,
I found some pretty cool vinyl in that store.
oh yeah.
Oh, that's
So
one thing that I
that's-
think is really cool that I think that we should bring back is there being available vinyl. I would love to get like a nice record player, like not one of those shitty ass. Forgive me for this, Abby. Not one of those shitty ass ones. My sister-in-law has one of these. Not one of those shitty ass ones that's like that looks like it's supposed to be like a super old chest and it opens up and the record players in that.
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
a really modern record player and
Yeah.
I want to collect vinyl again.
Yeah, I mean,
I say again, I never have in the first place, but I think I owned one like I don't even know what you call them, but I owned one at one point just because I think my grandpa gave me one, but
right.
other than that.
Yeah, that's fair. I have a relatively small collection of vinyl, but anytime I see something that's like in the spectrum of the stuff I want on vinyl, I'm like, have to get.
Absolutely.
There was just like a revelation that
You
I
want a
think
revolution? I want
that
a
on video
revelation.
will come through next week when Matt just took a sip of his other drink.
Yeah, secondary beveragino. So yeah, I mean, I think just having vinyl is great. Like, there's a fellow that I've worked with for a real long time now. and he has a collection of vinyl, and he's always posting about that kind of stuff. He got Billie Eilish's
nice.
new record,
That's dope.
and like I was like, man, this is a vibe. So I'm feeling a little inspired. I just have this problem where I go to do something and then I have to just be all in or nothing.
Right.
So I have to like bide my time, or else I'll just be
That's
like, hey,
totally fair.
I started collecting vinyl, and you'll show up at my place and there'll be like a full wall of vinyl behind the couch or some shit like that.
Right.
So I just have to hold back.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm doing too many other things at the moment.
That's completely reasonable. I think vinyl's a really good way of like preserving music history. Like I think it's just one of the coolest methods that we've ever decided this is how we're going to ship and sell music.
I just think it's cool.
Yeah, it just
Like-
feels cool. I don't.
Collecting CDs is not the same.
It isn't, not even close.
No, there's something that's sort of. It's just a different vibe. It's agey and like it's classic, right? Like for us, collecting CDs is a classic thing for sure. Having a CD, but it's like it's just not the same level of cool.
Yep.
Don't at me in the comments for that one, but
You can get cool artwork on a CD, but I literally have gold vinyl.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
You don't get that kind of stuff from anything else.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I will collect vinyl one day, but not today.
That's fair.
Yeah. Well, boys, we went to a cafe today.
We did. We sure did.
Good luck guessing where we went today.
Yeah. Real good luck.
Yeah, we went to Cafe Goodluck in Dartmouth.
That's such a terrible joke.
I mean, don't at me in the comments. I feel like I'm saying that a lot today. You can if you want. Cafe Goodluck. Yeah, I think Cafe Goodluck. I had a good time. Minus the only seats were out front in the sun. Everything else was a vibe.
Yes,
Let's say.
completely agree. But like, also understand given how the interior is.
Yeah. Very little space. Now, one of the things that I really like about Cafe Goodluck is that they, I guess, consider themselves a pantry as well. So there's like, you walk in, and the first thing that you're looking at when you walk in, and this is a big brain play on their part, is all of their freshly made pastries.
Yep.
And I bought two. I bought one, and then I went back and bought another one because they were so good and they were freshly made every morning there. So you walk in and it's just like boom, pastry case in your face. I'm a rapper, I guess, but like lots of great, like super fresh, very foodie scones. Like there was a lavender bud on the top of my scone. It was amazing.
I'm like 80% certain that on top of my ginger cookie, not only did they have like the chunky sugar, but there was also like flaky sea salt.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to figure out why it was salty, and then I was like examining the cookie, and I was like, okay, yep, this is good. I love this.
Checks out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you turn the corner to the right, and it's like they have a wild selection of like coffee brewing goods. Like they had full Chemex filters. Everybody knows in my life. Everybody knows I've been looking for Chemex filters. Broke my Chemex a month ago, but up until that point, I've been looking for the Chemex brand filters because you get the shitty ones from Walmart or Superstore in the no-name brand, and they've got that seam on the side that just gets wet and falls apart. So you got to fold the seams over a couple of times and then put it in the top of the Chemex and do your pour over and pray that it doesn't collapse into the bottom through the eye of the Chemex, right? And pandemic's got everybody tripping, I understand, but yeah, they had them in stock the whole time, and I didn't know. Many Google searches, did not know. Sag, but yeah, like conical burr grinders, like programmable kettles, like full-on drip coffee machines.
Yep.
So yeah, that was really nice. And then you turn around and there's like a wall of preserves, like jams, and they had like a really cool selection of like pickled eggs and stuff like that from that you could just buy in jars and stuff like that too. So and like there was fresh fruit, on the table by the door that you could purchase and stuff like that. So I just thought it was really like overall very cool. And like
it's a neat vibe.
It's a really nice spot. Yeah. What did you guys drink?
Well, You know me.
Yeah.
I had to
Yeah,
get the
you know me.
cappuccino.
The poo-poo-cheen.
Yeah, I got a nice coffee again.
You got nice coffee again?
Typical,
Yeah, I had
What
an
did
iced.
you get?
I had an iced Americano with some cream and sugar, for sure. It's definitely pretty good. I think we should sort of maybe crack into it a little bit. So I always try and ask the server, the barista, whatever name applies in their situation, what I should get. So she recommended the iced Americano. Not my favorite drink that I've had. So I'm going to give it a ranking.
Yeah,
just
go
to
for
kind
it.
of kick things off here.
Yeah, do it. Get right into it.
I really wanted it. Like, I really love the place. So this ranking hurts me on the inside.
I respect that for sure. Absolutely.
This is a coffee show. I did get a chai beverage after the fact because I wanted to try something actually normal to me, and it's banging. But that being said, this is a coffee show. So, not that we can't drink tea. I'm not pigeonholing us, but here's the thing. There was a lot of cream in it. Not a lot of espresso. And the high flavors were really nice. Like when you breathed a little bit, like you could get some of the like chocolatey espresso notes.
The nuances.
The nuances.
I'm not a coffee person. So
But on the tongue, like it was just almost strictly cream. Like it's all I could taste was the cream. So like
yeah, that's not ideal.
it wasn't ideal, and like that was her recommendation. So no disrespect. That might be something that you like. I doubt that you're listening, but it might be something. It might be something that you like, and that's absolutely fine. I didn't super enjoy it. I feel like I couldn't even get a super positive read on the espresso. So from that perspective, I'm going to give it a 6.
A 6.
It's probably the lowest number I've ever given on the podcast so far in 4 episodes. But
I mean, I still think like in my spectrum of how I consider ratings, like anything above a 5 to me is like this is still okay.
Yeah, it was okay. Anything that's below, anything that's in that mid range probably wouldn't order again for me.
That makes sense.
I would drink it if it was put down in front of me and somebody's like, "Hey, I got you an iced Americano. Here it is." I'd be like, "Sure, I'll drink that. No problem.
Yep.
It's a free drink and it's reasonable." But I definitely would not order that again. That being said, I went in and got the chai. I'm not going to give it a rating because I committed to the Americano. But when I got the chai was very good. So I'm currently drinking it right now. So yeah, a 6 for me on the Americano scale.
That's totally fair.
It's gonna be a little bit different than normal, but that's okay.
That's okay.
What do you think? I'm always curious to know what you think about your cappuccino.
Yeah, of course. This was another good cappuccino. Definitely hitting some good points this time. Also, latte art on this one, or foam art. So good points there.
Yeah,
that helps bump the score a little bit. I ruined it because I swished the cup around on my way out to the table this morning. But yeah, this one had a nice balance. I think words are hard in the morning. No, it was a nice one. I definitely liked it more than others that I've had on the show. Yeah. But it definitely didn't. It wasn't a stunner of a cappuccino. We'll put it like that.
Understood.
It was a good cappuccino.
Was it Bliss Caffeine Bar good, or was it Apartment 3 good?
It was in between those.
In between?
Yeah.
I understood. So a little bit better than Bliss, maybe?
Oh,
Definitely.
no.
I would say so.
I like that.
The issue is that I can't remember what I ranked Bliss, so I may have to retcon this
I think
in
you
next
ranked
week.
it a 6.
A 6? Okay, well then the ranking I've been toying with in my head is totally fine.
Tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
So I was going to give the cappuccino at Goodluck Cafe a 7.5.
A 7.5. For those of you who are wondering, our ranking scale is 1 to 10 with halves. No decimal points outside of halves.
Yeah.
And now my favorite segment of the show is how did Colton's iced coffee compare to McDonald's?
I don't like this anymore.
We need to get like stings. If anybody listens to this and knows how to make some stings, hit us up. We would love that.
Tell me about your experience with your iced coffee today?
It was good.
Was it?
Yeah, I liked it a lot. It was really good. I don't know. It's probably one of the best iced coffees I've had so far.
Really?
Like just plain
Ooh.
iced coffees, I should say.
Yeah.
Like the Wired Monk drink that I got, the Milky Way, that was better. But that's because you're adding butterscotch and chocolate to
There's
it.
lots of different
Yeah.
things. Yeah. I wouldn't even call that a traditional iced coffee, to be honest.
Definitely not.
Not even close.
This was good. I don't know. Like, what can I say? I just got it large iced coffee, double, and kind of slapped.
It's like
Yeah, it was like
Nice.
an 8.5.
An 8.5.
Yeah,
Wow,
like
that's super.
I come in on most of these drinks at around an 8, but like it was pretty good. I don't know. I'd go get it again.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
And
Love
like
that.
I understand, like we have a rating system about the prices too, but like cheap, one of the cheapest ones I've had so far while we're doing this show, like for a nice coffee. So that kind of does add
Not
to
too
the factor.
bad. Yeah.
It was good. It was good.
Yeah.
I also just want to take a second to shout out the ice that they use. 'Cause
Oh
that's
my
top
God.
It's like
tier.
shredded.
God
top
tier.
tier. More places need to be doing what they're doing with ice.
Yeah. Absolutely. I agree completely. I think here's my hot take. I don't know if there's science behind this, but when you have ice that's like lower, that's like crushed up a little bit, it cools the drink off so much better because of that surface area, I feel like. So like when you get chunky ice, it's sort of like I don't know, I feel like the crushed up ice prolongs your your first few sips zone. Like you get that first few sips and it's like really cold and really good. And that crushed up chunky ice like sort of keeps things really cold. I don't know if that's true or not. Don't at me, but I really like that as well. I like the small ice chips. You don't get like clogged up when you're drinking an iced beverage, especially like these lids are spout lids. You'll see in the picture. Check us out on Instagram at Ice and Bean Pod, and on Twitter at Ice and Bean Pod. You'll see in the pic. So it's spout lips, like sippy cup lips. So you don't want to have like huge chunks of ice that are just blocking the way through. One of the things that I really, not to get too sidetracked, but it's pumpkin cream cold brew season. And so I'm back at Starbucks a little bit more than I normally would be, just because their PCCBs are insane. Shout out Charlie. So they just did a crazy update. I shouldn't say just, it's probably a year old, maybe as old as the pandemic, but they did an update with their sippy cup lips where they widened the gap so that you can sip and some air still gets through, so it doesn't create that like sucking situation.
Right.
Really enjoy that. But I feel like you don't have to worry about that with these lids, even though they're not as wide, if you have that small ice. Really a vibe.
Yep. Absolutely.
Let me upgrade. Let me go 6.5 because of the ice.
6.5.
6.5 because of the ice. I wasn't factoring in the ice. Let me factor that in.
There is an ice factor.
There definitely
Absolutely.
is an ice factor.
Yep.
Hundo
Did
beat.
we already? We didn't do vibe check.
No,
yet,
let's
right?
summon one though.
Yeah.
I really liked Cafe Goodluck.
It's a different situation.
I will go back.
Oh
for
yeah.
sure.
It's just different.
Yeah.
Like every other coffee shop we've been in is like, hello, sit down. And they're like, hello, we're in the marketing game and we know how to do it. And I'm like, I respect both big time.
Yeah.
I don't know. And
They're like, order your drink, get the hell out of here.
like the outside seats are great.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I had just woken up and I was sitting there and I had sun in my eyes and I was like,
Challenging.
I hate life right now, not
Yeah.
where I'm sitting. So, yeah, I like it a lot actually.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
Yep.
I really liked it
Completely
as
agreed.
well. I love the markety vibe. Like,
Yeah.
It really felt like a Sunday afternoon stroll into the market kind of thing.
Well, I didn't really look around like in depth, but it seemed like they sold so much stuff. Like they were selling fresh fruits and everything.
Fresh
there.
fruit,
A little bit of produce.
a little bit of produce, like preserves. Like,
You-
I'm a huge fan of jam. Like I love jam. I got shout out this random shop that doesn't have a name on the side of the road up in Hubbards, but by the in-laws cottage there is a little shop, and it's just a hobby. They don't even sell. You just bring your money, drop it in the jar, and then take what you want and leave. It's
Oh,
that
it's just
kind
like
of
it's
system.
just like an
It's
open stand.
Just a random person. An open
Yeah.
stand handles that stuff.
Yeah.
They have amazing peach jam. Got to buy like 6 jars when I go down this weekend. But like it's amazing peach jam. Like I'm all over that. So like I love when you can walk in, grab a coffee, and then look to your right, get I don't know, a bushel of bananas, a thing of bananas,
I don't
hand of
actually know
bananas.
what they are
Neither
called.
do I.
Yeah.
But and like toss out with a scone and head home. You know what I mean? I love that.
A bunch of
A
bananas.
bunch of
That's
bananas.
what it
Yeah,
is.
that sounds
it
about
is.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
checks
absolutely what it is.
Yeah, thank you for that one.
I would have thought about that way too much.
Yeah. No, I really liked it. And it's like it's modern but a bit cluttered. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not in a way that feels overwhelming, but they just really utilize all of the space that they have without like encumbering on your ability to walk through the shop, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, it's like going to, it's fun. It's like going to a cottage.
It is a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yep.
Yeah. You I don't know. I really liked it. I'm gonna give it because I did go pretty low on the flavor train. Sorry, not sorry, but I will say that I really enjoyed the overall vibe and the aesthetic. I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
Absolutely solid.
That's pretty good.
I'm also giving it an 8.5.
8.5s across the board.
Across the board, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
pretty solid 8. It's pretty
Yeah.
solid 8.5. Here's what I would like. I really wish there was a spot to sit down inside.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's the only thing that it's missing from the equation that every other shop has had is you can go down, even if it's a tiny little squidgy spot in the corner, tuck me in the corner. You know what I mean? Like I want to sit in the corner and watch some people and hang out and do that thing. They've definitely, I feel like they used to because I've seen pictures online when we were doing our research. But now with COVID not being able to sit inside, that whole thing, so I feel like they just shifted their attention outdoors. There is like a bench a bench and a table, but that's where they've shifted a lot of their produce onto that table for purposes of sale, so you can't sit there. Sag.
I also have to add that one of the baristas is barista a gendered term or is it both? Is it male and female?
That's a great question. I feel like we should know that.
I don't know
have my
that.
phone
I
to
don't know
Google
the
it, but
answer.
we'll Google it.
Okay, so just speaking freely, the
Huh?
barista, the male, he had long hair and tattoos, and that's the first genuine, like, stereotypical barista that I've been served by. So I'm giving them extra points for that.
Sure.
Imaginary extra points.
Yeah.
Shout out to that guy. I like your hair.
Yeah, he was a nice guy.
Yeah. He's chill.
I knew it was going to be good. Do you know how I knew it was going to be good? Because I parked the Volkswagen Tiguan 2021 2.0 4Motion TSI, and I parked it and I looked over and there was a guy with like a adventure hat fedora on.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and I was like, well, this got to be a trendy place if people like this are showing up. And lo and behold, it was.
Yeah.
So I thought it was going to be a good time.
Yeah.
Barista is a gender neutral term.
Fabulous.
Okay, cool.
Unless you're in Italy.
Unless you're in Italy.
That's
Yes.
Oh, good to know. I don't plan on going back to Italy. Not that I've ever been there, but I don't plan on going there. Sorry, Pietro. No, I'm just kidding. I would love to go to Italy. Italia sounds great. Let's go to Rome. I want to see. That's on the bucket list. I definitely want to see that. I don't know. Was it worth?
Oh yeah.
Was it worth to you guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Nice. I want to.
It would be more worth obviously if we lived in Dartmouth.
For
like
sure.
if I lived closer
sure.
to that place, that would be a pretty constant.
Yeah, like it's
place.
pretty worth for me.
Yeah.
It's pretty worth for me. I think we should remove the distance travel from the equation from
That's
the worth.
Yeah,
super
I think
fair.
so.
It's just like a side note. Like,
Yeah.
if it was more local to me, I would go there probably every day.
Yeah. It's pretty nice. I'm gonna say, I don't know. It was about $4 for my Americano, right? I think I paid $9 in total for my blueberry, like wild berry pastry and the Americano, which was a large. So, I don't know. To me, it wasn't very good, so my number's going to be high, higher than normal. So I'm going to say my worth was probably a 7. Wasn't very worth to me
That's fair. That's totally fair.
from a price perspective. Like, now, maybe somebody got heavy-handed by accident, put a little too much cream in or something. I don't want to say it'll never be worth it, but for me right now, was that worth? No, not really.
That's fair.
It definitely wasn't like I'm never drinking there again. Oh my gosh, it was so expensive. But
We're definitely like different sides of the spectrum.
for sure. It just, I wish you could have tried it.
My large iced coffee was $2.75.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wow.
The scone that I got was kind of expensive, but worth it. So like the
so
coffee
good.
was $2.75, and altogether it came to like $7 something.
Right.
That scone was awesome.
Yeah. It looked good. It looked so good. I bought one and it's sitting over there
Yeah.
waiting to eat it.
Like I'm just gonna throw my number out there because $2.75 is like the same price as a McDonald's coffee. Oh, the ASMR.
Welcome to the ASMR portion of this episode.
This.
You're gonna have some
For the
sticky
camera?
fingers, boys.
Oh,
baby.
she's beautiful.
Oh, mama.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, I give it like a 4 for
So
value.
4 for value.
Yeah,
I
it
like
was-
that.
It was cheap and it was good.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like I want to be there.
Yeah.
I feel like I could be there with any different drink. Like even the chai that I'm drinking right now. Let me give it a worth.
Yeah, do it.
I'm gonna give it a 4.5 on the worth scale.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and let's just shout out to the viewers for a second and listeners. You may have noticed that obviously the ranking system for the flavor and the vibe check are obviously 10 is better. You flip it around because a lower cost is better. So in the dollar signs, the lower the number, the better for you overall.
Yeah.
Just
It'd be
for
like a
purposes of
spicy
clarity.
rating on a menu.
Yeah, exactly.
The more chilies, the more spicy it is.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
So, I feel like even this, I feel like I could get down to like a 4.5 on the, because the chai latte was like $3.75, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Steamed milk, really nice chai flavor. I think they might even have some cardamom in there. Like it was pretty nice, like traditional chai. So I'm down to clown with that. Like that was pretty worth. Just the Americano was not. It was not hitting the spot today. Is all.
Yeah,
That's
I
all
mean,
it was.
you gotta quantify the experience for what you paid for it, and that's a
Yeah.
very reasonable thing.
Yeah. So you're a 4.
Mhm.
What about the puppuccino?
The cappuccino was $4 one size, which I'm now noting that some places do one size, and other places you can do small, medium, large. So I'm starting to try and quantify that into how I rate things, and getting that into the spectrum of my like worth it values. But I'd say, given that it was a good cappuccino, I think my overall experience would be a 4.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's overall pretty good. It's overall
Yeah.
pretty worth. I feel like we might be even a little too aggressive on some of our ranking when it comes to the worth, because like how much cheaper could it get from?
Well, that's kind of what
$4,
I'm
you
starting
know what
to
I
think about, is like I doubt that I'm gonna get the like $2.75 cappuccino that's a 10 that
If you
gives
got
me a
$2.75,
$1 sign,
yeah,
you
exactly.
know?
That's what it would take. It would take iced coffee price for a chai tea latte, which just isn't going to happen.
No.
Because milk and coffee cost two different amounts per fluid ounce, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I found out today or yesterday when I was doing the long division, because I'm going to get an espresso for Larissa for her birthday. She knows about it, so I'm not spoiling.
No spoilers.
But I'm going to get a Virtuo probably, like a really nice one. And but I was like looking up at the total cost, and I'm like, to be bougie and drink the coffee, at like $20 a bag, you're usually looking at less than 400 grams of coffee a bag, 21 grams a cup. It's $1.46 or something like that after you factor in like electricity and like the water per cup. The Nespresso, I can get in there around 79 to 89 cents a cup, or worst case $1.20 if I want the signature blends.
Yep.
Like it's going to be cheaper overall. Save the cost of the machine back in 1 year by going on the Nespresso train, right? So anyway, sorry, shout out to Virtuo, but I just wanted to share that because it's definitely interesting.
Oh, it absolutely is when you start actually doing the math on what you're paying for bulk beans or pre-ground versus your individually packaged.
First of all,
premium
if you pre-grind
beverages.
your beans, don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to you if you pre-grind your beans.
Drake,
What?
do you do that sometimes?
Well, when I will do like a batch and use it for the week.
Sag. That's sag.
I mean,
you gotta grind your beans morning of per cup of coffee.
Yeah.
IMO.
Are you really
IMO.
trying to out bougie Drake?
I am out bougie.
Oh, no.
Actually, I'm successfully out bougieing Drake right now.
Yeah, but I'm not disagreeing with that. It's out of convenience of having ground coffee ready to go. Like, it's not like I'm doing like big brand stuff that's been sitting for like 8 years waiting to go into a coffee.
No.
But like, yeah, I completely agree. You should be doing it the morning of.
No.
But out of the fact that I'm lazy and I just want coffee as soon as possible from when I wake up, I grind a week ahead.
Okay, that's fair enough. I grind morning of. But I don't have a burger grinder, so you can at me for that. Yeah, either way, it was a great trip to Cafe Goodluck today. I will go back. It's very close for me. I didn't even really know it existed. So like the vibe check on the inside is dope, but like I didn't even know it really existed. So and I live in Dartmouth. So like maybe some advertisements.
Good idea. If you go back, get the lavender ice latte.
I will.
It's incredible.
It seems like it might be good. That being said, though, overall it was great. Gonna recommend that you go to Cafe Goodluck. Shout out to those guys. They do a phenomenal job in pretty much everything. To have a fresh baked scone this morning, like it's not even like, is it 11 o'clock? Yeah, it's just 11 o'clock here on Wednesday morning. To have a fresh baked scone this early is a treat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we should kick a sign off. I wonder if you guys have anything that you wanted to add before we kick it up.
I got nothing. No, nothing for me.
I have to go to Walmart and buy a plunger.
Don't you dare at me on the bottom of this podcast. No, thanks everybody for listening. Make sure you follow us on our socials, Ice and Bean Pod on Instagram and at Ice and Bean Pod on Twitter. We really appreciate you guys listening, and make sure you check us out Wednesdays every week is when we publish our podcast.
Like and subscribe those videos. It really helps us out.
Yeah, leave
comments.
Leave comment.
Yeah, let us know where we should go next.
Yeah,
no
yeah.
P.
Please.
Yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Tweet me at David Dobrik. And that's it, guys, for us today. We're out. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.
Bye.